Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. In this video, we're going to be looking at a Spellsinger's Taliyah team composition, a unit I featured before, but you'll get to see some more Taliyah gameplay in this one. And we're also going to look at one of the prismatic augments, the golden ticket augment, which is not one of my favorites, but it is one that we were able to use to good effect in this particular game. So alongside me here is JDP El Grillo. We have done the most double up games so far. I have also done games with Antisocial Monkey and Headwinder in set 8, but most of the games have been done together with Grillo. And it also helps that Grillo is now recording his games as well. So in a number of games, he's been able to send me some of his footage, and I've been able to show from kind of the opposite perspective. Not in this game, though. In this game, we're going to be looking at things from my point of view and just kind of following along and commenting on the action here. As far as the larger picture of Teamfight Tactics, we are getting close to the end of this patch that we've been on for about a month now. It was kind of a winter holiday patch. The developers went away for the winter holidays, and so we were just kind of on the same patch for a long time. As I said, about a full month, in fact. Excuse me. Now, if you're the kind of person who maybe plays Teamfight Tactics 10 games a day every single day, you probably have gotten bored with this patch, but I have been quite happy to stay on a patch for an extended period of time. I've said my biggest complaint historically has been that they patch way too frequently, and I don't think that there's any real reason why they couldn't patch every 3 weeks or 4 weeks. We've actually seen a number of changes over the course of this 4-week period that we've been on the same patch. When it first came out, the mascot reroll was really everywhere, and that was the dominant comp, but people just got more used to playing around the Yumi mascot reroll, and while it's still a strong option, we've definitely seen a lot of other things that have popped up. In particular, we've seen a lot of duelist comps pop up, and that was something that really no one was playing for the first 2 weeks or so of the patch, and it's just gotten to the point where now people are playing it. By the way, I'm trying to sell to get up to... was trying to sell to get up to 10 gold there because I have a 2-item start. I wasn't quite able to make it to get that extra gold coin. Anyway, I am going to reroll here, and I see that there is an Annie. So I'm going to look to grab Annie, and this is kind of the first indication for me. I'm going to try to play Gadgettine opener here. I have the Annie and I have the Lulu. Unfortunately, I do not have a Zoe or a Poppy, which would be the other units that I would want to have. So instead, we're going to be running just this Spellsinger opener. And by the way, look at this. We already have already have 6 Luxes, but I don't want to look to try to go for 3-star Lux. And we're going to look to try to just put the Sunfire Cape on Annie. And even though my front line is absolutely pathetic, we'll try to figure something out. I did think about putting an Oxforce. Okay, I think that is actually better to get Oxforce in, even with Talon. Would much rather have Alistar in instead is a much better unit, but beggars can't be choosers here at the start of the game, and so we're going to rely on this. And with the Oxforce in, maybe Annie will be able to survive. I actually have decent damage in the backlines with 2-star Lulu and a 1-star LeBlanc back there. So I actually end up winning that round, which I did not think I was going to win. And then I can even sell the Lux to get to 10 if I want here. I always do not mind these starts where you get fewer item components, but you get additional gold. Do I end up selling the Lux here? I guess I held because she was a Spellslinger unit. I thought I might want to play more Spellslingers. Okay. So anyway, to get back to my point from before, while there's not action going on here in the game, we've definitely seen the meta shift up over the course of time. Oh, I also get the chance to see what the admin trait is. I'm looking here. I was I don't want the attack speed. Every 5 seconds, your admin units gain 7 HP. I mean, so that's kind of nice. So that does give me the possibility of playing into Soraka here. Now, based on how I've described this game, you know that that's not going to be the case, that I'm not going to end up playing into Soraka in this game. But that was a possibility. This is a useful admin. I tend to like the ones that give you permanent stacking benefits, especially if you can get them in early. So, as I said, that is one option to have, is just permanently gain HP on admin units. Anyway, though, I've interrupted myself twice now, so we definitely have seen some shifts in the metagame since this came out, and as I said, in particular, a lot more focus on duelists. Also seen more people playing brawlers. Now, it's not that people were not playing brawlers before, but basically, after a week or two of the patch, people figured out that you could play Jax, just completely ignore his mech trait, and just play nothing but brawlers. In particular, if you could get +1 brawlers, put a brawler icon on Soraka, and then you just play every brawler plus Soraka. You get 8 brawlers And then you also get heart trait and you get admin trait, all of which are pretty nice. Anyway, here we can get the Gadgeteen trait in if we look to play the Lulu. There we go. I think that that's definitely better. Kind of a very standard opening here. 3 Gadgeteen units and then another unit in the back lines for Spellslinger. Usually it would be Lux, but fortunately I can skip the Lux and play LeBlanc. So anyway, many more duelists, many more people playing Jax with the with a bruisers setup, and it's is it brawlers or bruisers in this set? It's brawlers, not bruisers, whatever. Basically the same trait. So things have definitely shifted over time. You've seen less Yuumi mascots and some other comps that were not as popular when this patch first came out that have popped up over time. Now, the reason why I bring that up is it really does demonstrate that this whole notion that the game has to be patched constantly every few days, it's just kind of nonsense. There really is no reason why Teamfight Tactics has to be patched as much as it is. And that is a deliberate design choice made by the developers. They have said in interviews that they believe that people will lose interest. They have to patch every 7 days or else people are going to fall off and lose interest. And I just don't think that that's true. But it's clearly a design decision that they believe that they want to go for. And we're pretty convinced that they deliberately just try to shake things up every week or two. That they just try to buff stuff that doesn't need to be buffed, nerf stuff that doesn't need to be nerfed. It's pretty clear that they're doing this intentionally by now, because the goal for them clearly is not to balance the game, but just to shuffle the game constantly. They want constant gameplay churn going through different metas at breakneck pace. It's clear that that's more important to them than actual game balance, because otherwise the actions that they've taken don't really make a whole lot of sense. All right, anyway, I was able to get an Alistar with a belt off that carousel, and I'm just going to play the Alistar. I would not mind making another item and transferring it over to Annie long term, but for right now, just playing the Alistar is definitely better. That'll give me Oxforce trait and another solid frontliner here. So I get another Annie. I've got 2 out of 3 Annies right now. I've got this LeBlanc that's just kind of hanging out in the back lines. And at least at this point in time, we could either play into Soraka from here, or we could look to play into Taliyah from here, because we have some spell slingers, we have some admin units. It's going to depend on what units we hit, and it's also going to depend on what items we hit as well. Itemization is similar for Soraka and Taliyah, but they are not quite the same. Biggest difference is Taliyah really needs a Spiro Shojin. Soraka can use Spiro Shojin, but would prefer to have a blue buff if at all possible. All right, here I'm hoping Lulu can survive long enough for Grillo to come in, and there we go. Just literally survived to the last possible second. And that's important because it's able to keep my win streak going, and that's going to be worth a good bit of gold here. Anyway, I will pick up the Lux, and let's see, I'm actually not really getting the Gadgeteen items that I want. I would much prefer to get either another good frontline item, like Gadgeteen Warmogs would be absolutely awesome. Gadgeteen Ionic Spark would be nice here. Or alternately, it would be nice to get like the Gadgeteen Shojin so that LeBlanc would cast more often. But instead of getting things like this Bloodthirster, which is not really what I want, I'm basically using the Bloodthirster on Annie for the shield in most of these fights. Although that time I end up putting it on Lulu. I'm not exactly sure why I ended up doing that. Probably would have been better to put it on Annie here. But anyway, my board is pretty much all 1-stars. I have 2-star Lulu, who is probably the single least important unit in my comp because none of her traits are in. I don't have the heart trait in. Oh no, I have Gadgeteen in. So I do have one of her traits in, but she's still probably the least important unit on my board. Anyway, so can Lulu kill both of these units? It doesn't look like it. And will Grillo get here to save me once again? No. Missed it by about 1 to 2 seconds. So that actually is going to cost me a lot of money, but as I said, not quite enough. I do wonder if I had put the Bloodthirster on Annie, if I would have survived long enough to hold in there. Yeah, and look at this. I get the Gadgeteen Sunfire. That would have been nice. I'd probably also win that last round if I'd had the Gadgeteen Sunfire. But yeah, probably should have put that on Annie because she would have gotten the shield. And that might have bought enough time for that fight to get dragged out. Anyway, though, just continuing to pick up champs. Nothing too crazy going on so far. It's just like a standard Gadgeteen opener with Annie, Poppy in the front lines, and then just like spell slingers behind it with like the random Lulu 2-star that I managed to hit. So pretty common board here at the beginning of the game. Now that belt is quite nice. I already have a Sunfire, so double belt for Warmogs would be very nice. It's often quite nice if you can put a Warmogs on a 1-star unit because it kind of gives them the health of a 2-star unit, even though your unit is only 1-starred. So that's pretty nice there. All right, I also have the chance, because I actually do have quite a bit of gold because we were win streaking all the rounds up until the last one. And the other thing that was nice about that is that I was in a situation where I remember I had the 2 items start, which meant fewer items at the start of the game, but more power. Then I also decide I will just go ahead and sell the Alistar. This loses Oxforce trait, but I can play the Lux and the Sona to get up to 4 Spellslinger, and I do think that's the best I can do. Also puts 2 Heart in play, which is not going to do a whole lot with just an unitemized Lulu and an unitemized Soraka in play. It's not going to do a whole lot, but I definitely think that this board is stronger, and it also lets the Warmogs go over to Annie, who's going to use it a little bit better. So I do think that this was the right call there. Unfortunately, Annie does not have Oxforce in anymore, so she will actually die when her health hits 0. But with 4 Spellslinger in, she actually gets a ton of AP. If you are familiar with the Spellslinger trait, set's been out for a little while now, provides additional AP to the units that have it. So Annie's shield is significantly higher with 4 Spellslinger. And I think that what's her base shield in that? Well, we'll come back to this in a minute. I have an augment here. So, oh, look at this. It's a prismatic, and I actually don't like any of these options. I don't want Windfall. I don't really want Lucky Gloves. And I already used my reroll on that initial champion augment, which was worth doing because the initial champion augment whiffed me pretty badly. So it's going to have to be golden ticket for the augment here. As I said, one that I generally don't spend a lot of time picking up. But I want to go ahead and cover what this one does. So let me go ahead and read the description here. Each time your shop is refreshed, you have a 50% chance to gain a free refresh. So anytime you have a shop refresh, 50% odds for this shop to be refreshed. So this is largely a reroll trait. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna get an Annie from Grillo over there. He had an Annie in his store, and I was like, you know what? Even though it's kind of a bad use of the send, just to make 2-star Annie to send over a 1-star, I do think it was worthwhile here because my front line was pretty weak. And I really do think that I needed the 2-star Annie. I was hoping that this would stabilize me. Unfortunately, this Brawler's comp looks like they're punching through the Annie. I mean, she actually stalls for a long time. But 6 Brawlers, as mentioned, is quite strong here in the mid-game. And it looks like they're going to have enough to punch through. But how much faster would they have punched through if I hadn't gotten the 2-star Annie? Also, Lux tosses her ult at nothing. She could have easily killed another unit. So, yeah, I was kind of hoping that the send for the 2-star Annie would allow me to keep win streaking. But it does not. That does not happen. I actually end up losing the round. But I still think it was probably a good call to do that anyway. Okay, going back to the augment. So as I said, this is basically seen as a reroll comp augment because as you reroll the shop, every time you reroll, you have 50% odds for the shop to get refreshed for free so that you can reroll again for free. Grillo, you can see, looks like he is going into a duelist board, or at least he's playing duelist for the moment. It's actually been a couple days since we played this game, so I don't remember exactly what he ended up with in this game. But he's going in that direction right now, and I've been holding Ezreal's in the possibility of sending him a 2-star Ezreal because he's been playing this underground board so far. So as I said, typically you would play the golden ticket with some kind of reroll trait. It's very good if you're rerolling for mascots. It also tends to be pretty good with 3-cost reroll traits. So if you're rerolling for Vayne and Kai'Sa, or if you're doing the Kai'Sa plus threats comp that's become pretty popular recently, it's very good in those situations. It's not really something that you would use if you're going to look to try to push to level 9, though, because you lose most of the benefit if you're not rerolling on the traits. Now, you do get the possibility for a free shop refresh every time you get a new shop. As you see, I very narrowly lose again. Would have won that round, but the partner came in and reinforced. So every time I get a new shop, there is 50% odds that I will get another shop. And then after that happens, there's another 50% chance to get another shop refresh. So it does kind of compound on itself over time. You know, you get the shop refresh, and then you can reroll, and then you can get another shop refresh. It's always 50% odds that you're going to get another shop over for free each time that the shop is refreshed. But clearly it does favor reroll comps, and that's not really what I'm looking to play here, but I kind of didn't really have a choice. I had to do, I had to take the best of those 3 options, and I didn't think it was Lucky Glove because I have no gloves whatsoever. I'm not really playing into the Thief's Glove. All right, so I get a free shop refresh here, so we might as well take advantage of that. Any second now. Oh, I get another Sunfire Cape. You actually can't put double Sunfire Capes on the same unit, so I'm going to have to put that on Poppy. Here, I'm also going to get a gift from Grillo. I'm going to end up getting a spatula. So basically, anytime the spatula comes up, we usually try to pick the spatula option just because we're always hoping that we can do something with it. Could always be like a Tactician's Crown. So I actually ended up getting a couple shop refreshes there. Ended up getting 2 Luxes. I figured I would just hold on to the Luxes because if I end up playing into Taliyah with the free shop refreshes, I actually have pretty good odds to 3-star the Lux over time. So I've got a spatula. I don't know quite what I'm going to do with that. The most likely option is probably a heart emblem. But if I can't use it, I could always send a Grillo. And there is also the possibility of getting another spatula, and we just make a Tactician's Crown, which is probably the best use I could make of this. Right now, this does not look like a comp that's going to play heavy into the heart trait, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, this person's got the, they have prismatic nice edge, but they also have an Annie augment, so I'm not quite sure what they're going for here. Looks like maybe some confusion on their board as well. I was also hoping that I could play into Annie 3-star as well, but unfortunately that person already has 5 Annies, so that means it's going to be a little bit less likely that I'm going to be able to hit the additional Annies. But I mean, hey, here's hoping, right? There's still a possibility. It's still pretty early in the game, and they will be re-rolling a decent amount. Anyway, Grillo takes the tier 4 champion option here. I don't remember what he got because it's been a little bit since we played this game, and I'm going to have to check his board a little bit later on. All right, anyway, so I want to get the, I want to drop the Poppy because Poppy is a pretty bad unit. I want to get the Alistar in. So this will drop the Gadgettine for the moment, but I can put Lulu back in on level up. And I can't remember if I go ahead and level here or not, but I definitely want the Alistar in, and then I just have to get the Lulu back in, who gives me both Gadgettine and Heart. So I think I wait until the minion round to do that, yeah. So wait till the minion round for that, but then I can put Lulu back in for, as I said, both the Gadgettine trait and the Heart trait, which would be pretty nice. Still, for a game that I mentioned is going to be a Taliyah game, we have not seen any Taliyahs yet, so definitely still waiting on that unit. Definitely also need to get some more carry items as well. I have decent frontline items, but I don't really have any AP items just yet. I've got a Rod on my bench, and that's about it. So here's another fight that's relatively close, but end up losing that. That person's playing Duelists. Remember I said Duelists are getting pretty popular. Grillo's also still playing Underground, so he should be able to get a nice cash out there. I've not been tracking how many stacks he has, but presumably he's getting pretty close to when he'd want to cash out. Or I guess we could keep pushing. We do have a lot of health here. Anyway, so in the first couple rounds, I had golden ticket. I wasn't really getting the shop refreshes, but now I've been able to hit a couple of them. And there we go. Lulu's back in now. And this board looks a lot better. 4 Spellslinger, 3 Gadgettine, 2 Hacker, 2 Oxforce, 2 Heart. Pretty solid board here. Now I really just need to get some kind of carry unit. The biggest reason why I've been losing some of these fights is I just don't really have a clear carry unit to play through. As I said, the front line's pretty good. I have a lot of utility on my board right now, but I do need to get some kind of unit that actually deals damage. That tier is definitely what I want to see, and I get a champion duplicator, so that can be nice as well. I also find an Echo, which is also excellent as well. All right, so now I have to try to make use of some of these. I definitely have to put the Echo on my board. I actually have a Fiora on my board I could sell for bench space, but what did I end up selling there? I can't remember what I actually sold there. But I'm actually going to go ahead and roll at least one time here. We now have Prankster trait in with Echo. Oh, and took out the, I had to drop the Gadgettine. I dropped the Lulu for that. So I did lose the Heart for that. I also do have a champion duplicator. I also have a reroller here as well. So I have the option to reroll some of this. I'll put the Cloak on the Annie, and then I don't really have a use for the bow. So I was like, let's go ahead and reforge the bow. We can try to do something with that. And I was like, oh, a sword. Excellent. We can make Spear of Shojin. And that's going to be pretty good on a future Taliyah. So as soon as I see that, I'm like, I'm probably looking more towards Taliyah at this point as opposed to the Soraka, just because I have the Spear of Shojin as opposed to having the blue buff. It looks like it's going to be tricky to try to get double tiers in this game. So I'm still trying to sort out my board. Grillo seems like he has more of a board at the moment. He's got the duelist setup that he's playing through right now. All right, we're going to get one more augment here, and I was like, I guess I'm taking the Thief's Glove. That's not really the item that I was looking for, but I can't reroll here. I will go ahead and send over to Grillo. He wanted the Samira. Remember, he's playing an underground board, and Taliyah. Okay, well, we're definitely going to play that. So let's go ahead and we'll shift out of the LeBlanc and just put the item on Taliyah right away. So we got the Spear of Shojin, which is probably her most important item because it allows her to cast. We do have Star Guardian trait in, which is nice. And I actually hit the 2-star Ezreal there. That's nice to clear out bench space. And okay, well, we're hitting pretty good here. So I'm going to send over the Ezreal. And now I've actually cleared out some bench space. So this is looking better. I'm also up to 6 Luxes. And if I can get one more Taliyah, I'll be pretty set there. And I had the champion duplicator, so I was like, you know what? Let's just play that. We'll just champion duplicate this. Why not? I'll just go ahead and grab this. And that way, hopefully my board is spiked in power. And the goal is now I'm going to look to go to level 8 because I have Taliyah 2-star. That should hopefully be enough to get me to level 8. Or at least that's what I was thinking when I used that. I was like, now I can look to level up. I know I have golden ticket, but I think I want to get to level 8 and use golden ticket to reroll at level 8 because I'm playing through Taliyah, and that makes this a kind of a 4 cost comp, not a 3 cost comp, if that makes sense. This round was a little bit sad because we were about to win, and then the partner came in and reinforced. Obviously, we've done that in some fights as well, but ended up losing that round just as I lost out on killing all of the other units. And by the way, and then another Taliyah pops up in the store, and I was like, yeah, burn that champion duplicator. Did not expect to get another Taliyah in the store on literally the next round. So you could say we should have been more patient, and maybe we should have been more patient. But I don't think it was a bad play to use the champion duplicator to hit 2-star Taliyah and then look to go to level 8 as fast as possible. It's a tempo play in the lobby. It's designed to put more pressure on the lobby and be able to win these rounds more easily. But anyway, it did not end up working out there because there was a Taliyah in the very next store. But it's still early, and I still do have golden ticket. So with golden ticket, I can think about going for a 3-star 4 cost. Now, normally it's very difficult to try to hit a 3-star 4 cost, but we should have, non-trivial odds to get that. By the way, Taliyah tosses her ult at absolutely nothing instead of going after the misfortune here. So sadly, I used the champion duplicator on the Taliyah to make a Taliyah 2-star. Then I immediately find another one in the store and lose the next 2 rounds as well. So I was like, well, this tempo play has not worked out at all because I would have hit the Taliyah anyway, and then I ended up losing the next 2 rounds regardless. So I was like, all right, the whole point was to hit this unit and then win streak, and that has not happened. So, well, sometimes I make the best decisions, and sometimes they don't work out. All right, so I'm looking to itemize the Taliyah here. I'm going to go ahead and grab the glove. This is really nice because it's going to give her Jeweled Gauntlet and allow her to crit, and then I still have another rod that I can put on her as well. You really want to make Jeweled Gauntlet on her if at all possible because she gets ability power from the Spell Slinger trait itself, and then that allows her damage to crit. Whereas anytime you have an ability that gives you innate crit chance, it tends to be very useful to, or anything that gives you innate ability power from a trait tends to be very useful to build into crit stuff. Now, I did think here about using the spatula to make an admin emblem on the Annie. Remember, the admin ability gives 7 permanent health per second. Every second it gets 7 additional max health permanently. But I was thinking, no, maybe we can do something better with that. I don't know. Might be able to do something a little bit better. So once again, I'm gonna have my Taliyah get popped instantly. A 3-star Camille with the hacker room rides into the backlines, goes instantly on Taliyah, and just like one-shots her. I was like, oh, wait, have I really lost 3 rounds in a row after hitting the Taliyah? What? I really thought I was going to win streak with 2-star Taliyah, but no, I've lost every single round after making this unit. Yikes. Also, this person apparently has 8 Annies, so I guess I'm not hitting the Annie 3-star anytime soon. And this game that was looking really promising is like kind of fallen off pretty hard here. So I was like, oof, man, this is not really going the way I want here, unfortunately. I also now need to reposition. I put the units together because I had a Zeke's on the Thief Glove that Alistar rolled last round. But yeah, I have not been seeing more Annies. I'm still sitting here on the 6 Luxes, but yeah, I mean, I guess we'll wait and see. I'm going to try to get to level 8, and then at level 8, we'll see. We'll roll and see what we can hit. I would love to get 6 Spellslinger in, although it's a little tricky to do that without +1 Spellslinger emblem. The +1 Spellslinger gives you, you kind of need to hit Janna, or else get a Spellslinger emblem in order for that to work. Anyway, now I'm up against someone who has 3-star Yuumi, and they have prismatic featherweights, which is not great. So I need the Taliyah to kind of pop the Yuumi in the back lines, but doesn't have quite enough ability power to do that. And can she at least kill the Lee? No, she can't. So somehow I hit the 2-star Taliyah incredibly early, and then I lost 4 rounds in a row. I was like, what is going on here? I lost every round in a row after making Taliyah 2-star? Are you kidding me? What? I think the biggest issue is my front line is still a little bit weak. It's not quite good enough. And by the way, there's Gorilla taking the big cash out. I think he got the 8 loot orbs. from a 3 underground cash out. So he is going to look to drop down to 2 duelists. Oh, he also got a tactician's crowd. Maybe that was a 4 cash out, actually. I think he actually got the 4 cash out, if I'm remembering that correctly. So he is fortunately now going to be able to drop some of the underground units and go into some other kind of board. So we did just get a huge spike from Grillo's board over there. But I definitely need to fix this because this is not going the way I want right here. I guess I hit a LeBlanc 2-star, so that's not nothing. But still, this is not going the way I want. All right, now from here I have a couple different options. I have the vest, the sword, the tier. There's arguments to be made for all of them. I end up grabbing the vest, and in retrospect, I really wish I had grabbed the sword instead. The sword could have been used to make a what's it called? A Gunblade on Taliyah. And Gunblade is a very good item to put on her because it basically heals her up to full on each spellcast. By the way, here I'm just rolling it down. I am getting a lot of additional shops from the golden ticket. So I do end up hitting Taliyah 2-star. But the problem is now I'm left over with just another glove. And so I end up with double jeweled gauntlets, which is really not what I'm looking for. Now, this is not terrible by any means. It does mean that her her ability is basically guaranteed to crit. I think it's I think I have like 100% crit chance now, but you really only need one of this item because one is enough to get it so your abilities will crit. You don't really need 2 of them. Meanwhile, the Gunblade would be really good because not only would it heal Taliyah for her damage, it would also heal the front line as well, which is one of the reasons why it's one of her best items. Generally speaking, you want the Spear of Shojin so she'll cast more often, Jeweled Gauntlet so her ability will crit, and then for that last item, you tend to like either Gunblade, as I said, to get some healing, both for her and for the front line on your board. By the way, I'm going to get sent an item here. I get an Orin item from Grillo. Thank you very much. I'm going to continue rolling here with my free golden tickets. So as I said, Spear of Shojin on Taliyah, so she'll cast. And then in addition to that, you want to get Jeweled Gauntlet, so her spell will crit. And then the last item can be Giant Slayer is pretty good, or Gunblade tends to be pretty good as well. So anyway, I am rolling for units here. I'm actually on 8 luxes, so I'm really hoping I can hit just 1 more lux. It's worth the effort just to pick these units up. And then I also get up to 6 Sonas, so that's not bad either. So I'm getting close to 3-starring some of these units, but until I actually hit them, my board is not as strong as it could be. My front line is a lot better now. The Eternal Winter on Echo is quite good. And I would love to get another Spellslinger in somehow, but I don't really see how I get Janna on this board, to be perfectly honest. I guess I would drop the Zoe, which would cost me Prankster trait, which is not ideal. But I would probably drop the Zoe to play into Janna, just so I could get the 6 Spellslingers. But I've been losing all these rounds. It's actually not going too well right now. And what looked pretty promising earlier has really stalled out here and is not looking so hot at the moment. I've also knocked myself all the way down to 0 gold here. So yeah, now I don't even have enough gold to send Grillo stuff. Although I told him I can sell these Annies. I'm probably not going to hit Annie 3-star. So I told him I could send this, but he said, no, it's okay. Just go ahead and take the 7 gold option. Grillo being a good partner in this game. Also, look, by the way, he's got 2 out of 3 Taliyahs, and then he hits another Taliyah, so we're like, oh my god, okay. Well, that's going to be 3-star Taliyah, and now I can put a Heart Crest on the Zoe. So just like that, I've hit 3-star Taliyah. I was like, oh my goodness, okay. All right, well, my board just got a lot better, and I still have the 8 Luxes, and I still have the 6 Sorakas, so we can look to play into that as well. So anyway, 3 stars Taliyah. She's a 4 cost, and now we've 3-starred her. So even though Golden Ticket has not really been doing amazing for me in this game, I would not have had enough econ to hit the 3-star Taliyah without this. So it did ultimately end up paying off here. So now that I've got 3-star Taliyah, I'm going to win all the rounds, right? Well, Taliyah casts her ult at nothing. And I just need her to cast and hit the Misfortune. So is she going to do that? And she is, but Zoe is still alive. There's another enemy board going to come in and reinforce. Taliyah casts at a unit that just died, and am I really going to lose this round with 3-star Taliyah? Yep, apparently I am. So I was like, really? I hit the 3-star Taliyah and I still lose? Jeez. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Well, and of course, if I'd had the Gunblade on Taliyah, I would have easily won there as well, because she would have been healing the front line up to full every single time she casts. So a little bit of bad RNG in terms of how she did her targeting there, but whatever. We're going to have to try to figure something out here. So anyway, it's time to pick another item. Oh, actually, no, I'm last pick on this carousel. I would have taken the Shroud of Stillness, but that's not an option there. So out of the remaining options, I was like, oh, God. Oh, seriously? Okay. Well, I guess we'll take the Anima Squad emblem because it's on a 5 gold fiddlesticks, and it does provide a very small amount of AP. So I guess we'll stick this on someone. But wow, talk about a useless item. I certainly could have gotten something a lot better. But Grillo's got my back. He managed to find a 2-star Sona. Remember, I already had 6 Sonas, so that's going to make Sona 2-star as well. So, okay, 3-star Taliyah, 3-star Sona, and there's the Janna. So now I definitely want to play the Janna so I can get 6 Spellslingers. I was like, what comes out? I guess it's the Zoe. It's a little bit unfortunate. As I said, I lose Prankster trait, and I actually lose Heart trait, although I can transfer the Heart emblem onto someone else. I'm going to put it on LeBlanc so we get Heart back in. But yeah, we got the 6 Spellslingers in. So let's cover what I've just managed to put together here. So 6 Spellslingers is 100 AP. Also causes Spellslinger units to do extra damage on their auto attack. And oh my god, the Taliyah damage when she crits. She did 3,200 damage to somebody over there. So, oh my goodness, when she crits and boom, 2,308 damage. Okay, this is more like it. That's more of what you're expecting to see when you have a 3-star 4-cost over there. So yeah, hitting the 6 Spellslinger was really big for me. And now we've also got the 3-star Sona in there too. So as long as my front line can hold up for, the 10 seconds it takes Taliyah to burst people down, we should be able to kill things over there. The Janna ability, I'm trying to remember which forecaster ability Janna had. I think I checked it when I first got the unit, but now I can't recall. By the way, I really want to find one more Lux here. I've been sitting on 8 Luxes forever and ever. Windy Weather. Oh, it's the scaling one too. Okay. Windy Weather is the one that gives additional AD and AP every 5 seconds throughout the fight. So we're going to be getting even more AP. And of course, we also have Heart trait in. Not that we're going to stack up Heart particularly fast, but still, we also have the Heart trait in. All right, so here we have 3-star Taliyah against 3-star Jax. Who is going to win this one? All right, so Taliyah is going to get our cast off. And all right, well, she did like 2,000 damage to all the brawler units on the front line. I need her to focus the Jax. Will she target Jax? And she does, and all right, 1,100 damage. Does less to Jax because he has that Titan, so he has a bunch of extra armor and MR. But yeah, we're going to win. And apparently 3-star Taliyah does beat 3-star Jax. As you would expect, Taliyah is a 3-star 4-cost, as opposed to a 3-star 3-cost over there. And yeah, now as long as she stays safe in these fights, she pretty much blows up the whole enemy team. I do wish she had the Gunblade because she'd be healing, but I mean, she does hit like an absolute freight truck right now, so that's pretty good. The 2 things I have to watch out for is she is relatively fragile, so if she does get jumped on, she can be killed. She has no healing, and her targeting is kind of wonky. So if you're unfamiliar with her, I'll just read her official ability description here. Traits are Spellslinger, Star Guardian. Her ability is Weaver's Wall. Taliyah summons a torrent of spiraling rocks in a line of enemy units. Deals magic damage to all enemies it hits. After a brief delay, the wall explodes, dealing additional magic damage to nearby enemies. The base damage at 3-star is 250 for the wall and then 900 for the explosion. But of course, she's doing way more damage than that. That's because she has 100 AP from Spellslinger trait, and she should be critting on every single spell cast because she's got the double Jeweled Gauntlet. So she's probably doing, like I said, somewhere around 3,000 damage, something like that. And then I suppose that of course gets reduced by magic resistance. So if she hits targets with no MR, they're gonna die. They're gonna die pretty much instantly. Anyway, so I have a Neela here. That's going to go over to Grillo, and that should make Neela 3-star for his board. I have not been nearly as good to him in this game as he has been to me. He has been really helping me out in these fights. He got me the 2-star Sona, a 2-star Taliyah. He also sent me the... what else was it? The other big thing. Oh, and here I have a chance to pick up something else. I was like, oh, cool, blue buff. We've got a 3-star Sona. Let's just get her the blue so she'll cast nonstop. And every single time that she casts, she will also give me a stack of Heart trait as well. So that feels pretty good. All right, well, that person's going to get knocked out. The Taliyah is absolutely just face rolling people now that she really has a proper team around her. Anyway, can she get off one more cast here? And yeah, that unit didn't even survive long enough to get off one more cast. So yeah, Grillo is playing a 6 duelist board. His board is not amazingly strong this game because he kind of used the advantage of his cash out from his big underground cash out to kind of make my board stronger. As I said, a really good teammate in this game. I was able to help him out by sending him some units, but he's definitely helped me out more in this game. Anyway, I am getting closer to LeBlanc 3-star as well, so that'll give me 7 LeBlancs. We might as well go for that. Unfortunately, this person who is playing the Bizarre Annie plus Knife's Edge board is someone who has been holding Annies throughout the game, so I've been Having difficulty finding the 3-star Annie. Does not look like I'm going to hit that, but I will continue to try for it at least. All right, so Taliyah lining up the shot. I need her to focus the Camille, but I was able to position away from the Camille. And oh my god, that damage. Just when she hits the whole enemy team with her Weaver's Wall and crits on it, it pretty much blows up the whole enemy team. Yeah, she did 2,800 damage there on that spellcast. Jeez, okay. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to knock this team down to 1 HP. And it doesn't look like there's a lot remaining for these other teams to do. I ended up locking for the LeBlanc, but can I hit the LeBlanc 3-star? Does not look like I'm going to. I ended up on, 7 LeBlancs, 6 Alistars, 8 Luxes. Where was my last Lux? I've been on 8 Luxes for like half the game. Have not been able to hit that. So it looks like I matched up against the 3-star Jax board. I'm just going to try to position away from Jax as much as possible. I would just prefer Taliyah to be away from Jax. Remember, she gets the scaling from the heart trait. She gets scaling from the Janna ability. So the longer the fight goes on, the harder she hits. And all right, Jax is on the other side. Jax does have the Titans resolve, but I still think Taliyah is... I mean, we saw this matchup like 5 minutes ago, right? And it wasn't especially close. There goes the Weaver's Wall. And oh my god, 3,000 damage to Soraka in the back lines. Everything is dead except for Jax. I mean, he's tanky, but he's not that tanky, so he's going to go down. And that's it. That's going to wrap this one up. So the power of Golden Ticket when it hits, combined with a partner helping you out here in double up mode, is quite powerful. As I said, it's not one of my favorite augments. It's always a little dangerous when you take a prismatic augment and it has no in-combat benefit. Golden Ticket's a purely economic augment, so if you don't hit with it, like if you don't use it to make some 3-star units, then you're going to be in serious danger. And you saw that in the game. We did have that big power trough in the middle of the game where we were kind of both losing, but then Grillo got the underground cash out, and he was able to help me make Taliyah 3-star, and Sona 3-star, and then that was pretty much all she wrote. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, hope you're having a great week. Take care, folks.